It was 1990. My boss at the time, Gene McCurdy, called a big group meeting where she got the entire studio together and said, well, yeah, we're coming to the end of Tiny Toons. You guys did a great job. We're looking to develop other properties to, sell another series, and one of them was Batman. After that meeting, I went back to my desk, and I had Tiny Toons work I was supposed to do, and I just shoved it in the corner, and I just started drawing Batman. And the next time Jean had one of those meetings, I showed her this sheet of drawings that I had done of Batman, and she went, wow, that's great. That's exactly what he looks like. Yeah, Batman animated. That's perfect. A month or two later, she specifically called me and Eric Radomski into her office. Eric was he was a background painter on Tiny Toons. And he had also, independently of me, had done some background treatments of what he thought Gotham City would look like. Gene said, I want you guys to put together a short Batman cartoon, kind of like a little mini pilot to show the studio heads what we're talking about, what we would be doing.
And Gene called Bruce and I together to say, we like your take on this thing. We'd like to see what you guys do together. That was the first time we met each other and thought, okay, cool, let's see what we can do.
So the first thing I did was I made color Xerox blow-ups of a whole bunch of old pulp covers from the 30s and 40s. So I had those plastered all over the walls for inspiration. The Fleischer Superman cartoons from the early 1940s. Those were probably the strongest influence on the look of Batman and the series as well. We were just kind of like pushing the envelope, trying to say, let's make this as different from every other cartoon on TV, as possible.
Bruce pitched out the idea of what that scenario should be. A couple thugs on the roof, Batman shows up, dark and mysterious, takes them out and flies off heroically. And, it made sense, of course. It was appropriate for the character. It was just what we needed, just a couple minutes worth of material. Once it was an assembled piece and you saw that pan moving in multi-layers, suddenly Gotham City had life, and Batman was, absolutely going to work in this world.
The ironic thing about it was that in the meantime, while we were actually putting this cartoon together, the studio decided that they were going to go ahead with the Batman cartoon. The nice thing about it for me personally and for Eric was that we had this nice portfolio piece. So Gene was able to go to the studio heads and say, I want these guys to do this Batman cartoon, which again, Eric and I really weren't expecting that.
And lo and behold, they came back to us and asked us if we wanted to produce it. And I think both of us were just absolutely stunned. We thought, what are they thinking? Hey, we've never done this before. What the hell are we going to do? But it really, the promo stood on its own, and I think that was enough for anybody to think that if you guys pulled it off in this time frame and it looks this unique, we're going to have to try really hard to screw up the series.
Bootleg copies of it have gotten out, and it does show up at conventions occasionally. They're probably 18 million generations away from the original at this point, but I know people have seen it, so yeah, but it's still kind of a rare item.